go?
No, I think it was just, really the whole picture. And I'll start with saying this is I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bob Melvin. I, watched him before I was in the league, competed against him for years, and always enjoyed competing with him. And unfortunately, just the way that we played throughout the course of the year, this is where we ended up. And the hope is, going forward, we can get a new voice in the room that can lead these guys to get us back to where we all want to go.
Great. Have you made decisions on the rest of the coaching staff yet?
We've notified them, and just left it with them that some of the staffing is going to be dependent on whoever the new manager ends up being. We'll have a say so in some of that, but also just relay to them that there needs to be an understanding that there's going to be some discretion on the manager's part as far as staffing goes as well.
Let's go to Justice.
Hey, Buster, this will be a third consecutive year where someone in a prominent leadership role, whether it's manager, president of baseball ops, is going to be moving on. There hasn't been this much managerial turnover within the organization in quite some time. Was there any hesitation given that, there has been so much turnover among top or front-facing positions, or was this situation so much so that you felt it appropriate to make a decision?
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, right? It's definitely not ideal. But unfortunately, we've talked about it a lot, what the standards are for the Giants, and we have high standards, and I hold myself to those same standards. I mean, I understand fully that the position that I'm in now, my job and the team's success is evaluated accordingly, as well. And you without a doubt hope that there can be consistency in these leadership positions, and we've got to get back to a place where we're getting in the playoffs, we're making runs in playoffs, and that's what our fan base deserves. That's what the city deserves. And as I mentioned before, or I don't know if I mentioned it, it's when seasons don't go the way you want them, it's never one person's fault. It's never one group's fault. But when they don't go the way you want them, you can't, in my opinion, can't sit there and say we're going to come back and do the same thing that we did this year for the next year. So, having said that, that's part of why we landed where we landed.
Alex.
Hey, Buster, when you picked up the option in July, you kind of placed a lot on your shoulders and also on the clubhouse. What changed for you in the last 3 months in terms of just the way you viewed Bob?
Again, I think, Alex, it wouldn't be fair to completely put it on somebody. Obviously, Bob not coming back this year, it does lend itself that way, which is true. But what changed is, my hope is grabbing that option. I think we all felt that the season was going in a direction that we didn't want it to go, and the hope was that picking up that option provided a morale boost within the clubhouse. It gave us, for that time, some consistency going forward, with a few months left in the season. And then, unfortunately, again, we didn't play the type of baseball that we needed to play to get in the playoffs, and that's why we're here.
Go to Shayna Rubin.
Hey, Buster, just piggybacking off your answer to Susan, is there anything that you would expect to see from a manager that you wanted to see from the managerial position that you didn't see specifically? Like, is there something that you expected to see that you didn't get to see?
No, again, it's all encompassing big picture, and just just looking to find a different voice that can take us in a different direction.
Go to Ann Killian.
Hi, Buster. In terms of a different voice, do you have a list in mind of people that you want to talk to about this opening? And when ideally would you like to make a decision?
Yeah, I have ideas. I have people in mind, but I'll keep that to myself right now. And as far as when to make a decision, I don't think that you set a timetable on it. I think it's going to happen naturally whenever we have some time to sit down and talk with people. And yeah, no timetable on my end. Want to make sure we get it right.
And also the streakiness of this season. I don't know that many of us have ever seen such a up and down roller coaster of stretches. Do you feel that Bob's leadership played a role in that streakiness?
It's hard to say. I mean, you could point to probably a lot of different areas. And again, the hope is that we do get to a place where we are more consistent. We all know as much baseball as we've all watched over years and years that the details, the small things are really important. And the hope is to find somebody that can push the group to a higher level of making sure there's all those little small fundamentals are emphasized.
Thank you.
Let's go to John Shea.
Say, hey, Buster, what kind of manager are you looking for? A young guy to, spark the team, an older guy with a whole bunch of experience? Is Bochy somebody you talk to? His contract is over in Texas. What exactly do you want in a manager? And can it be a guy who's got no major league experience or any managing experience for that matter?
John, I think we're open. I mean, I don't think it, for me, age is somewhat irrelevant. The experience part, you can have different takes on that. So generally pretty open. I'd say what I want is similar to what I mentioned to Ann on the previous question, is somebody that's going to be obsessive about the details, obsessive about work, obsessive about getting the most out of our players, getting the most out of our staff, and somebody that will inspire confidence in our players on the field, and also all the interactions that happen off the field as well.
And in terms of Bochy,
I don't know what his status is yet. I haven't heard, so I can't speak on that.
and Buster, you how much communication was there in the final week or two with the manager? The media maybe didn't see you around as much, or Zach, and just was there much discussion throughout September with the manager in the final days and weeks?
Yeah, there's always discussions. I mean, just because we're not around doesn't mean there's not discussions. And we were at the ballpark every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were there.
Thank you.
Go to Maria Gordado.
Hey, Buster. Bob's obviously a Bay Area guy. He played for the Giants. It seemed like this was kind of his dream job. Just what was it like to kind of break that news to him this morning?
It wasn't enjoyable. No, I mean, I knew how much this job meant to Bob. Like I mentioned in the, my opening remarks, somebody that I've admired as a manager for a long time. So, was not something that I was looking forward to do. Bob was extremely gracious. And he cares about this organization. He cares about the players, and he wants to see them be successful.
Go to Laura Britt.
Hey, Buster, were there any indications that the players had lost confidence in Bob Melvin? And then with that, do you consider the clubhouse voice at all when you're making a decision like this?
No, there's no indications on my part about the players. Yeah, you consider Clubhouse voice for sure. I mean, I think that's part of being around is you're evaluating not only what you're seeing on the field, but what you're seeing, what guys' mannerisms are as they're interacting in the clubhouse, training room, weight room, whatnot. So yes, I think that it's important to have that pulse, but I also believe that ultimately, these decisions have to be made by me in the front office.
Go to Andrew Baggerly.
Hey, Buster, I think it's probably not a controversial statement to say one of the reasons the season went awry is because when things started going bad, the team just couldn't course correct fast enough. What do you imagine could have been different if there was a different voice in that dugout? Do you think a manager could have really made an impact on that? And I guess what are your thoughts about that?
It's hard to say. I mean, I've said it a few times already. The blame when you don't have the results, it's unrealistic to say that it falls on one person. But again, my thought is that getting a different voice and a different perspective in there hopefully will be advantageous for us.
Go to Brian Murphy.
Hey, Buster. Given that hires like Randy Wynn show that you're very comfortable with guys that you've been around, is it likely that your list would be heavy on Giants or former Giants that you've been around?
No, I wouldn't say that's the case. I mean, like I mentioned before, we're going to be very open and take our time to go through some interview processes and try our best to get the best person to lead the Giants forward.
Okay, we're going to take just a few more. Let's go back to Susan.
Buster, I think everyone knows what good friends you are with. Mark Hallberg is, he's obviously not somebody you have to ask for permission to talk to. Do you have plans to speak to him about this position?
Again, Susan, I think right now I'll keep all my names tight. I just think for the sake of this process, that's probably the best thing to do.
And you and everyone had emphasized from the beginning of the season that it was going to be a pitching and defense team. The defense left something to be desired. There were lots of mistakes, particularly on the bases. Where does ultimately the blame for that lie, and how does that get addressed if it's not strictly a managerial issue?
Yeah, I mean, I think as players, you have to look in the mirror and analyze your own performance. Some players are better than others at doing that. And the hope is as a collective group, we can rally around some of those guys that maybe aren't as astute self-evaluators and help them become the best players that they can be.
Back to Justice.
Hey, Buster, I know you've kind of implied it as far as being open with the process, but kind of piggybacking off Susan's question, but just would you consider internal options as well as external options?
We're open. We're open to consider all options.
Okay, two more. Alex.
You played under two very different managers and coaching staffs. How do you view those experiences and how will that kind of impact this search and what you are looking for in your first manager?
Yeah, I think it will. You draw on your own experiences a lot. As you mentioned, both very different, both effective in their own ways as well. So, yeah, I think I'll take all of that into consideration as we go through this process.
Okay, last one to Andy Baggerly.
Yeah, Buster, as you know, I mean, you guys finished just 3 games out of a playoff spot. Obviously, it was a pretty low bar to get to that playoff spot. But if you had made the postseason, would we still be here right now? And particularly in light of the fact that you subtracted rather than added at the trade deadline.
It's hard to say. I don't know, Bags. We are where we are right now, so the hypotheticals don't really come into play for me.
Okay, thank you everyone for logging on today. And just a reminder, we'll send out communication regarding Wednesday's in-person media availability with both Buster and Zach sometime today.
Okay,
Thank you, Buster.
thank you.